shot, but you drop down like. There we go. Game one now underway. It's Sigma versus Na'Vi. We start with the dire side. We start with Sigma. We'll have Sakshka take up the reins of the Luna. Miguel going to be handling your Venomancer. Fucking Mad, the captain, the drafter for this team, playing the Abaddon. Fata, the snowballing solo mid on the Batrider, and that leaves Pos, a pioneer of support alchemist, reprising his role on that again. I don't have game sound in my headphones, but not sure if it's on the stream.
Oh, we might see an early clash.
Well, Ben, we introduced Sigma, or I introduced Sigma.
Okay.
I'll leave the honors of introducing Na'Vi to you.
For Na'Vi, we have Funnick on the offlane Timbersaw. We have Dendi on the solo mid Invoker, which I'm sure the crowd is happy about. Havos on the Lifestealer Puppy on his signature Chen. And last but not least, we see Rubik on his, or Kiroki on the signature Rubik. I was about to say it the other way around.
And they have two smokes off the bat, and you can hear the crowd getting into it. It's fairly early for Starlight, a LAN tournament that tends to start pretty late, but these fans are already warmed up. There was a big line, even a few hours before the games began, so look for this crowd to really get hyped if Na'Vi gets any kind of action going their way. And the double damage rune will spawn bottom, and it goes to Miguel. This could be our first blood. Puppy's caught out of position. Havost is here, but they can just run him down. They have a shield available. Puppy gonna die. Can they get off a deny? They can. Well played by Havost.
Very well played.
It doesn't really cost Puppy that much because the creeps have not actually spawned yet.
Yeah, if he didn't get that deny, that would mean a boots for Venomancer, and then he can start harassing the Chen. So that is a really big deal that he was able to get that deny off.
Yeah, and well, maybe if the Gale's doing damage, it's a little bit harder to pull that off as well.
But I don't think you should be able to deny
level 1 Gale.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do damage, why can you deny it?
Yeah.
It's very bizarre, to be honest.
It's super bizarre.
Ice Frog, please.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't make that big of a difference, but I think in this particular case, it could potentially make a pretty big difference in the game.
Well, obviously, in this case, it would have made a huge difference.
Yeah. Boots or no boots?
We saw our Russian casters. Hello to Casper and Valat, but we do unpause now. We hop back into it. And Sigma, despite being denied a first blood, it's still not a bad start. Puppy will be a tiny bit slowed down by this, but not too much. He finds a Centaur. He clears out the camp, and he'll do it before 1 minute. So,
yeah,
honestly, not really slowed
lost
down
there.
at all.
Yeah.
So, Sigma does go with the off-lane dual lane that I mentioned as a possibility. You mentioned you don't really think this is a good lane because who cares if they get farmed?
Right, it's just like, whatever. And Kuro and Puppy will get farmed too if both of them are in the lane. And if either of them leave, then Havos is going to get a lot of farms. So it's not really that effective. They're trying to zone him out right now.
They could lift him into a stun here potentially for Kuro. Oh, not able to get in range.
Yeah, it would have been pretty close. I'm surprised he didn't do it. He has plenty of mana to spare.
So our middle lane is going to be Dendi's Invoker against Fata's Batrider. Who has the edge here, and should either team be looking to send their supports towards mid sometime soon?
I think that Batrider has an edge. I think he has an edge in many one-on-one matchups, but I don't think he should be able to kill him.
It's pretty hard to tower dive into Cold Snap is the one issue there.
Yeah, Cold Snap, and you'll have a Force Spirit beating on him too. So if he just goes Cold Snap Force Spirit and always tries to have a Force Spirit up, he should be okay.
So comparing the two off lanes so far, Sigma devoting 2 heroes bottom. They didn't get the first blood, and on the side of Na'Vi, Funnick is not being zoned out at all, and that seems to be the story for this team, is Funnick just consistently gets his levels in the off lane, even though he's purely on his own every game. Yeah,
generally you need a longer range hero in order to do so, and yeah, they're going to harass Funnick a little bit, but it's going to be extremely difficult to kill him. They have a fair amount
around level 3, I think they could actually kill him. Level 2 Lucent Beam, level 2 Stun. They've already got a point Acid Spray here.
Funnick's probably going to get more Timber Chain, though, just so he can escape.
Yeah, he just throws one out now. He just hits level 3, and he will level up the Timber Chain. Farm even so far. Sigma doing well for all 3 cores, but I think for Na'Vi the big thing is their supports are getting a lot out of the woods, and you compare that to the Abaddon, not getting too much himself, just leeching experience here and there. And now we'll see Na'Vi potentially go for their first smoke gank. Well, not when Sigma are spotting them. But there's a lot of back and forth here, a lot of posturing from both teams. That could have been our first blood if they got the lift off of Miguel, but not able to do so.
Miguel has boost and Kuroka he doesn't.
Yeah,
now he has it though.
He is the farmer in this lane. not something we've seen much of, the farming Benno. Fnatic has run it occasionally in the past. We saw Ice 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 play it.
Shell 8 has played it.
Yeah, but in the Western scene especially, it's quite unusual. Once in a while.
Paw's getting a decent amount of stack XP too, but yeah, Funnick is level 3.5 right now, which is, I mean, that's really good for Navi.
Yeah, Puppy not stacking the woods just yet, but he is farming. Actually, I'd say more than what you normally see Puppy do. Generally, he at least goes for his first smoke gank around this time, but I imagine we'll see it pretty soon.
It's pretty difficult to kill a Bat Rider, even with Cold Snap. He can just fly above the cliff, and none of his lanes are doing very poorly. But here we go.
He's already making another move in, but there is an Observer Ward here, and Sigma should be absolutely fine. Well, they'll let Puppy wrap around. They're going to TP in the Alchemist already, but is it too late? Fucky Man gets caught out. He's going to end up going down. First blood to Na'Vi. The trade will be there, though. They get Puppy, and they actually make it a 2-for-1 in the... No, sorry, 1-for-1. But it could well be a 2-for-1 as Kuroki's on the run. Wards get deployed. Diving for this one is Miguel. Kuroki still alive for the time being. Now they turn on Miguel. Havost wants a kill here. He's got open wounds. He'll pop it. The Centaur going. This is going to be a 2-for-1 going Navi's way. The zap comes from Kuro. He lives. And Na'Vi now on the board. And Sigma really feeling the pain from not getting that first blood earlier. They now give it up to Na'Vi.
Bucking Mad was just out of position there. He was, maybe he thought that Paz was there earlier on the Alchemist.
They had this Observer Ward.
Yeah, they saw him like right here, and he went all the way around. I can't even draw on the map.
He like paused. He paused for a second too. Puppy didn't run like straight in. He like stopped. He was organizing his creep, and he went. It seemed like Sigma were saying, "Okay, we're gonna TP in one. We're gonna turn this around on them," but it was way too late.
He could have also pre-shielded himself too. But he just really didn't do that much there. Abaddon also was unable to save Miguel. He was very, very close to being able to shield and then re-heal him with the Mist Coil, but unfortunately, range just a little bit too short.
And the worst part for Sigma is not only do they come out on the losing side of that engagement, but now they've TP'd to third hero bottom, which means Funnick is going to have a ball in this top lane, and he already was. He's sitting at level 5. Could potentially go for a solo kill in this Luna if he hits 6 soon. And certainly will get a lot of farm out of the lane.
Yep. I'm surprised Miguel didn't go the Orb of Venom. He likes to do that, and I've seen some people do it on the Venomancer for the triple damage over time.
It's a very cheap item.
Yeah. We see 2 supports rotating mid. One thing I don't like about Abaddon, my biggest gripe about him, is the low range on a Photic Shield. Like, that range is just so tiny, especially as like a melee support hero, that it's very, very difficult to get it off when you need it.
Yeah, and I mean, you compare it to like Shallow Grave when it's max, which has a much longer range.
Or even like something like Disrupt.
Yeah.
Or Defensive Nightmare.
And comes a rotation towards top. Pasta's coming in. He might look to make a go here on Funnick. There might be some TPs available for Na'Vi. Nope, none so far.
He has 4 reactive armor stack.
They do drop the Acid Spray as well, reducing his armor. Lucid Beam will be available. They want to interrupt the Timber Chain here, and they will get a kill. Big rotation from Paz setting that one up. Very nicely done, but it's going to be Navi's turn to reply as they smoke up and head towards mid.
That was a very important kill, too. Sigma needs more momentum, and getting that kill on Funnick right before he hits level 6-2, very important. The gold graph almost at 0. XP graph almost at 0, too, so it looks like everything is right about even in this game. We see Puppy and Kuro smoked up as Chen.
Yeah, they were making a go towards mid, and now maybe they just rotate all the way around. Nope, they're sitting on mid. They'll look for a cold snap to initiate this one, then come in for a lift, I imagine. But Fata is playing smart and played safe. Haster and Bottle, not an easy target to bring down.
Sigma and Navi both have really good Roshan lineups. Sigma with the Plague Ward, the mass damage from Luna, and the Bat Rider control that they have. They could attempt an early Roshan too, but Navi with the Chen creeps could also do it for themselves. So it's important that neither these teams give up an early lead so they don't give them early Roshan.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the Bat Rider because we haven't seen him much recently, but the probably, without any dispute, the hardest hero to stop a Roche against because of the control he gives you over the pit area, as well as the vision advantage.
There's a smoke from Bat Rider. He's looking for another kill on Funnick. He does have the haste. Here he goes.
Popsit is going to jump in, but there's your unstable concoction set up. Now Funnick eats a Lucid Beam and a lasso. He's going to go down.
That stun lasts so long.
Yeah, and it's got such good range, too. Yep. You could Timber Chain away, and then the stun will just follow you the whole way through.
I wonder if Navi's regretting not banning out Alchemist yet.
We'll see. And so far, it's still quite even overall. I mean, it's a 500 gold lead. Nothing too much to worry about for Navi, and their mid game is very fearsome. The Chen getting decent levels, Kroki's Rubik doing pretty well, not as well as this Alchemist though, who's already hit level 6. Pasta's having a really fast start and being quite high impact on the Alch so far.
Vods already going with a super greedy build. He has a Midas. He could potentially get punished for this if Batrider keeps going on him and he just can't survive before he can infest, or he dies during the rage because he doesn't have any HP. So it is greedy.
It feels especially greedy because no other team is going Midas really right now, aside from like Nature's Prophet players and maybe an Invoker once in a while. But we've really seen the trend of mass Midases and Midases on carry players die down. Teams tend to favor getting the early phase boots, early drums, items that help you fight now. But
yeah, it's because coming back is so hard in this version.
Yeah, and well, I guess Midas is okay for helping you come back, but not losing the laning stage is a better way to do it.
Right, definitely.
So Ben, game even so far early on. Do you have a favorite if it stays even?
I think it will just a lot will have to do with Paz, Fada, if he can rotate effectively on the Invoker, and whether or not. Wait, did I say Invoker? I meant Batrider.
Batrider.
Yeah, and if Invoker can have as much of an impact as Batrider. So
right.
I think it's still fairly even. It really just depends on the two solo mid plays. I think those are the most important. The timing of the support rotations has about ended, and Sigma's offlane is just like whatever. They're both 0 and 1 right now. They have boots on the Venomancer, but that's just not really a one lane for them, especially considering that they haven't shut down Havost at all.
I think living in California has rubbed off on you. Whatever is your new favorite word.
Whatever.
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 Whatever, guys. Well, we do hop
turning into a preteen,
a valley boy,
girl.
A valley boy, if you will. Navi going to just focus on their economy at this point. Like you said, the time for roaming is somewhat slowed down. The key item that's going to boost Sigma's mid game is the Batrider Blink, and it's coming fairly soon. I'd say he should have it by like the 11, 12 minute mark, probably, if he doesn't die. Something like that. It's, the Blink is a bit slower though when you're not actually going woods right away, and unfortunately for Bat nowadays, going woods is not as viable as it used to be.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely on Sigma though to try and get their mid-game advantage as opposed to sitting back and farm, because Navi, they can get really big on Invoker as well as Lifestealer, and even Timbersaw scales decently well with items. And Sigma, they really have to just depend on the Luna in the late game. So I don't think that they can play the passive far more, and we should start seeing some rotations coming up soon.
Yeah, Navi, just in terms of golden experience, it's fairly even for now, but with the one Midas out and with their ability to flash farm in the mid game, it's going to be... Sigma just has a lot of heroes that kind of fall off and don't do as much at certain stages. Veno's not going to be too useful against Lifestealer if he gets off rage. You have an Abaddon who is a decent counter initiator but doesn't provide you much damage or teamfight lockdown. Generally you pick him just to win a lane or to counter a specific hero, but I'm not feeling like he's going to have the hugest impact as this game develops.
Yeah, perhaps Sigma can get the Alchemist to transition into a damage build, but it looks like he's going with the early Medallion, no Midas on him.
Well, Roche is the other way that they can put some pressure on Navi, is going into the pick quickly. Luna already hitting level 8. The Treads, the early Basilius, decent items to take Roche fast, but very hard to do Roche when there's constantly Forward Spirits coming and scouting out. Chen creeps as well, and we'll have to see if they actually go for it anytime soon.
Yep, checking Luna's farm. Looks like she has gone for Treads, Bracer. No HOD up yet.
Sigma does not like to play greedy on their anyone really. We don't see Midases. We don't see early Helm of the Dominator.
Right. They're not that kind of team though. They don't play the farm game, and rarely do they win the late game farm war too.
Yeah, that's what we saw yesterday. Was when they went Gyro Lifesteal. They went for a lineup that looks like it's a greedy farm line, but then they played it like a very mid game oriented, just rush your BKBs, try and team fight lineup, but they just got out farmed too much when they tried to do that.
Even the other game, when Fada got really farmed on the puck, they just weren't able to transition that into any kills and any objectives.
Well, this could be the item that blows the game open. At least Sigma will be hoping for that. It's the Blink Dagger for Fata being delivered now. Getting a kill here on Dendi or Havost would be huge. But can he kill either? Puppy just lurking mid. Almost has a mech completed and Arcane Boots at 11 minutes. Very good farm for him. Hits level 6. And it's going to be hard to bring Dendi down with this kind of...
There's a smoke from Fada immediately. Looks like they're probably going to go for Havost. With the free farming Batrider, this is about the timing that you expect for a Blink.
Oh, Havost might reveal the smoke if they walk along the river path, but they lurk in the river for now. And Havost will go into a camp here. Sigma Are going to pop Firefly and look to go.
He's already channeling a stun.
He's got Puppy next to him. This is not going to be...
Kuro.
Oh, sorry. They actually go on Kuro here. Pick off the Rubik.
Do you see how much damage that did to him? It literally did like 75 to 80% of his HP from that concoction medallion acid spray.
I actually thought they were going to go on Havost and didn't have the camera in the right place. Sorry about that, guys, but yeah. He was almost dead by the time I moved the camera there.
Yeah, poor Rubik. Got obliterated.
And the 2 Forward Spirits now come out for Dendi, so he'll be able to put even more pressure mid. This is the build that we see most often, is the 4-staff rush nowadays. Not that much Midas Invoker. We actually saw a mech rush today from Ice Ice Ice's Invoker, but with Chen on your team, you don't need your Invoker going mech.
Yep, he does love the 4-staff rush. It's...
just makes it really hard to go on him, especially with a Chen already backing him up.
Yeah, he might need a Yules though, just for maybe counter initiate from Bat Rider, but 4-staff doesn't really save anyone from Bat.
Yeah, especially now with all the slows on Signal, they'll probably just run you down anyway, and you can't really fog when you're up against Firefly. Here comes an Invis Funnick looking to make a move. He's got some backup Kuroki in tow, as is Puppy. And they'll look to dive here on Pos. They jump in with the shock run, but Pos is not dead yet. He gets lifted up. Sunstrike's gonna fly. He walks right into it. Oh, but that's a 2-hero stun. Not bad for Pos. Is it enough? The Chen creeps. Bring him down. He just walked right into that one, Ben.
Yeah, he did get a 3-hero stun though, but just not enough. They need more TP reactions.
He was
too.
actually quite hard to kill there with the... I don't think he actually used the medallion, had the bonus armor from it, and made him fairly durable.
And yeah, even though the Sunstrike connected too. Miggle trying to pressure bottom.
Comes out for the offlane Venno, but it's at the same time as the enemy jungler pretty much has his mech. In fact, the recipe's already there, so... If you're using your 3 position, you get the mech at the same time the enemy 4 position does, you can't be feeling too good about it.
Yep. And it looks like both teams are just going to be content with exchanging towers. Again, I think this favors Na'Vi, though. Oh.
Lifestealer bomb comes through. The Eclipse is there, though. Instantly assassinates Funnick, but a Sunstrike will secure the kill. Dendi makes it a 1-for-1. Not bad considering, but Na'Vi will definitely take it.
That's one of those times when you don't necessarily have to pop rage instantly so that you can share some of the clips. If you take like 2 hits, then you rage so you can actually kill him faster. I guess sometimes that you want to pop it immediately so you can burst him down as quickly as possible so someone like Abaddon doesn't come in. So, Funnick does sacrifice his life, though.
They found Pos here. He doesn't have a TP available. He's just going to die himself. The Hulk stun stolen by Kuroki. Thrown back the other way. He stunned himself once initially there and then was hiding in the trees and could not TP out as it was on cooldown. And Na'Vi, they hunt him down and they pick him off.
Yeah, things are just not going very well for Sigma. They need to defend their other 2 T1s, though. If they don't defend those, then Roshan will open up to Na'Vi, and they can just take complete control of the map right now. Fada has been...
We saw the one gank. That was really it.
That's quiet. He has to make plays happen. This is the time. He has to take control as soon as he gets Blink. He's used his lasso once. It's been off cooldown for about a minute now, but I think like the 10 to 25 minute is when Bat Rider has to take control, has to kill the high priority targets like Invoker or Lifestealer, or it's kind of a dead pick.
And those heroes are just farming freely. In fact, they are your 2 lead farmers. They have 6,400 net worth on the Lifestealer for Avos. Plus, he's got Midas, so it's only going one way, and that's straight up. As well as Dendi farming quite well. They're getting core items. Necrobook's going to be coming out soon for Dendi. Avos has already completed drums, and you know, you can't lasso both of them. And Sigma, I feel like they're a bit lacking on damage here. Their main damage is just the Luna and the Alk in the team fights, but Na'Vi get too much tankier, already having a mech, already having pretty high levels. It's going to be hard to just kill one during a lasso. We see a scout for the Roche, but Sigma aren't doing it.
They're smoked up. They pinged on Funnick, but Funnick's not the hero that you want to kill. He is the 3rd most important hero behind the Invoker and the Lifestealer, but they really need to get one of the more farm-dependent heroes.
Well,
there they go.
A kill is a kill, and they'll definitely look to take Funnick here. The lasso's going to fly. Alk stun being channeled. Look at the damage from that stun. Oh, my goodness. That was like 2/3 of his health, I want to say.
It was even worse for Rubik when he got blown up.
what a hero Alchemist is. But like you said, it's not the highest priority target.
Dendi's also doing some really nice stacking here with the Forward Spirit onto this big cam. Look how much it's been stacked. And Na'Vi just a better team at playing greedy.
Yep, they seem very comfortable with it. Only the one Midas, but it's more just their supports farm the jungle really well. The Rubik as well as the Chen. Very efficient there. Sigma's done some decent farm. It looks like they're prepping for a Roche attempt, but Surprised they haven't made a go at it sooner. Not just having a good lineup to scout it out in general, with Sunstrike as well as all the summons they have at their disposal. Well, Bat has a key item now. Force Staff is out. You would think this would allow them to make a go on some of these higher priority targets, but we'll have to see if they can do it. So far, mixed results from the ganks.
Saksha may get caught out here. There's a smoke from Kuro and Puppy, but it's only lasting about 10 more seconds. They have to find her fast. The thing is, Kuro pinged over here. He pinged, okay, let's go this way. Can you see it on my minimap?
Yes, yes.
And then they actually went like all the way around, and then the smoke actually wore off. If they had just gone the route that Kuro had suggested, they would have gotten an easy kill.
Well, into the pit Sigma will go, and it might just be a fortuitous timing here as the smoke ends for Na'Vi. They're going to show some heroes top. 3 heroes, 3 centaurs pushing. This could be really bad for Sigma. Lift into the triple centaur, very hard to deal with. But it's going to be a Roche for this, so good trade. Sigma take the Aegis, they needed it. And now 17 minutes in, they can look to team fight. BKB about to come out on Luna. Na'Vi bringing 4 heroes top. They all rotate in, they might find Dendi, but there's really no backup. He actually goes in on the Lifestealer instead. Sunstrike's gonna fly off the mark there, but now Cassius will be brought down in a flurry of damage. Does he have his BKB for when he comes back? It's not delivered yet. Miguel dropping low. Everyone on Na'Vi still at full HP. In the meantime, the Batrider still trying to deal with a Boast who never died through the lasso. Too tanky. They just can't bring him down. They do stop his TP out. Maybe they get him on the runaround. Low and finally dead. Make it a 1-for-1. An Alk for a Lifestealer. Good trade for Sigma, but they lost the Aegis, so not so great when you look at it that way. And they lose the tier 2 as well.
Paz was just a tiny bit too slow on releasing his stun. He was able to rage after the lasso, and they weren't able to combo the lasso and the unstable concoction properly, and then Lifestealer kind of went rampant from there.
And not having BKB for the Luna really hurts as well. Came back and couldn't really aggressively force a fight, and was level 11, had the level 2 ultimate at her disposal, so sure they get the Roche goal, but the Aegis doing almost nothing this game.
Venomancer also was not close enough to mech, but had Na'Vi gotten that smoke off, Sigma wouldn't have taken that Aegis, and they probably would have been able to get a tower and a Luna kill if Sigma had chosen to defend. So
they're going to go on Paz here, it looks like. Oh, fuck. Miguel going to spot them out. Throws the Gel, but it won't connect. Puppy still sitting on the triple centaurs and maybe looking to push this mid tier 1.
Triple centaur OP.
This Batrider, it's kind of hard for him to go into the fights. He goes in, he just gets lifted or cold snap. This definitely feels like a game where he's going to need BKB at some point. Maybe not his next item, but he just have great counter initiation for when he jumps.
Yeah, it all depends on their positioning though, whether they're all close like this or whether Havos is going to be separated from his team like at the top T2. So Havos needs to watch his positioning, make sure that Rubik's within like 600 to like 800 range.
For now, Na'Vi just, I wouldn't quite call it 5-manning, but they're close to it, just grouping up. Not a formation that the back can really find his way into. Well, he wants to go on Dendi, but instantly cold snap. Na'Vi were well prepared for that one.
Yeah, at this point, he kind of has to go on Dendi.
But Dendi has a lot of backup, and now Funnick's been infested. Na'Vi, it is 5 mid at this point. They pushed out bottom lane. Now they'll look to dive here. Sigma could be caught completely off guard. The wards doing some decent damage. Hard to push in the acid spray, but they just go deep for this one. Funnick jumping forward, not finding an opening just yet. Meanwhile, Puppy sending the Centaurs on a big wraparound, but there was a lasso. They found Dendi, but the Centaurs surround him. 2 stuns on Fata. Dendi's still alive, dropping pretty fast. He gets 4-step out. He's going to live for now. The Luna jumps in, drops her Eclipse, but doesn't finish off Dendi. Havos still standing strong, but they right-click him down with the Luna. That's a great trade. 3 for 1, and they want more. They want Dendi here as well. The stolen Eclipse from Kuroki from the low ground. He turns it back the other way, makes it a 4 for 2. Still a fantastic fight for Sigma in the end.
That would have been even worse had those Centaurs not been where they were.
That looked like the perfect counter initiation. They had 3 Centaurs right where the Batrider pulled him, but he still ended up going down in the end. Stuck around for a long time.
Lifestealer just keeps dying immediately after his rage too.
You really see the power of Luna to deal with the Lifestealer because everyone's hitting so much harder from the aura.
Right, and he uses his infest offensively instead of defensively. I think he might have to use it. He might have to use it
to escape
defensively instead. I think he needs to be the one to get lassoed, so that
because he's the most survivable after it through infest, like you mentioned.
And he has the armor up too. Has a fair amount of armor, a fair amount of HP too. 1500 HP, 11 armor. He could definitely survive for at least a few seconds. Maybe if he gets like unstable concoction into Eclipse, and a lasso, but then you're using 3 ultimates for just 1 hero. And with Chen heal, Chen send back, Chen mech too, he's very likely to survive. But a hero like Invoker with much less armor and not as good defensive cooldowns is just gonna die after the lasso, even if you force step, even if you Chen heal, even if you mech.
Yeah, and you know, one thing we talked about in the pregame that I think we're seeing right now is that Sigma, definitely the team we felt needed to rely on the opponent to make mistakes, and that's exactly what Na'Vi did there. They were able to punish it, and now it gives them the openings to get those next items, and they do have some good heroes in a farm war. I mean, sure, they didn't go for the early Midas. It seemed like they were getting out farm, but if Luna gets a Dominator up, they've been stacking the Ancients and will continue to try and do so, although it looks like this one failed the stack timing. But with the Dominator, with Batrider able to farm the jungle pretty quickly, they could look to keep up in terms of CS.
No, Bucky Mad's still pretty poor to just a staff of wizardry, and checking Kiro's farm, he doesn't have a blink or anything yet. I think he really needs a blink so he can counter initiate the Bat. But I mean, Bat's gonna have BKB at a decent clip too with the way things are going.
And is he actually building BKB?
I'm not sure. I think he needs one though.
Yeah, I definitely think he needs one, but I've not seen him go for any components yet. Is there anything at the base? No, so I guess he's got a ways to go before that is complete.
Yeah, it looks like it seems like he's had blink and force forever though.
Did he? Oh, you know what? He bought back in that fight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we actually called that out, but he did buy back, so that's where a lot of his money went. But I mean, definitely worth it the way the fight developed for Sigma. So now Sigma just content to farm and probably waiting for the next Roshan to make their move. That's where Na'Vi are going to have to contest into a very difficult area, but right now it's Na'Vi farming a lot of and getting quite a bit off the map. Funnick still defending the tier 1 top. It has not yet fallen, despite Sigma having quite a few heroes that are good for taking towers. I mean, running a safe lane Luna and not having the enemy tier 1 at 23 minutes is very unusual.
Fada's been doing a really good job in these team fights of not getting caught out and always getting the jump on Na'Vi. If they kill Fada, then they're pretty much all forced to turn tail and run.
Yeah, they really are. I want to point out, you mentioned that the one thing Sigma has as kind of an X factor is the Alk that can transition into a carry, and he has picked up a plate mail. So if you get the AC, that's the point where he can start farming quite quickly, and will help them with Roche, will help them in pretty much every department.
He needs items that they want to take this late. They're going to need
him and the Luna. Those are really the 2 key heroes, because Bat's pretty much got everything he needs aside from the BKB.
Right. Now Lifestealer has a Basher. I think he needs actually more survivability instead of more damage. I think he might need like a SNY or even just a Saint or a Heaven's Halberd, just so that he can live a little bit longer when he gets focused, because the way the last team fight went, they just lassoed the Invoker, killed him, and then they kited him during the rage, and then immediately focused him right after. So he wasn't able to do that much damage during the rage too, and you're not going to be able to do it versus an Abaddon.
I guess the issue with that is that there's a lot of physical damage here, and getting extra HP will help, but I mean, it's not like necessarily going to help him all that
Halberd.
much. Yeah. Assault Caress wouldn't be terrible either. Because I feel like that's what he's going to die to, is the right clicks from the Luna, the medallion and acid spray being dropped on him, and eventually the AC. But hold that thought, because Na'Vi smoked up as a pack. They've got a pack leader, in fact, the Alpha up here, and they'll go right under the Luna. Instantly melts. Doesn't have buyback either. What a fortuitous gank for Na'Vi. And
that was so fast.
They had an observer ward setting that one up.
Do you see how fast she blew up, though? That was
like
insane.
2 seconds.
Yeah, she's supposed to be pretty farmed, too. She doesn't have that much HP. She does have a lot of armor.
It's the pure damage from the Timbersaw.
Right.
She just, like you said, doesn't have that much HP yet. If she has a Satanic there, they don't kill her, but it's way too early for that to be out.
And Lifestealer can still crush her in a one-on-one matchup, even if she gets Satanic.
And that's where they really need a farmed Alk, is you cannot rely on your Luna just to single-handedly out-carry Lifestealer until she's got, like, Manta, Butterfly, Satanic. And that's a long way.
Yep, she's going to need a lot of to out-carry her Vost in this game. And she hasn't been like ancient stacking too much, it looks like.
It failed on 1 or 2 of them. I haven't seen if Puppy's been blocking it. We will see Kuroki just stealing an aphotic shield.
I mean, he's like not stacking at this 26-minute mark either. Not really sure why.
Yeah, I don't know if they think it's warded or something, but that's quite a few stacks he's missed.
Yeah, and he was dead too.
Sunstrike's going to fly. Roche is coming up fairly soon. In fact, like about 45 seconds or so, but this, now that Navi has Boots of Travel and Dendi, they have the Basher up on the lifesteal. They're getting some items that will help them to take that 5v5 fight.
Dendi won't be able to split push as effectively as normal though because of the threat of the Bat Rider, and it's Boss's job to make him feel scared.
He doesn't seem to feel threatened, and yeah, now he's like, yeah, I'm a little far out. He'll TP home. And they may rotate towards the Roshan pit. They have spotted out 2 heroes top, so they definitely know Sigma's not Roshing. They smoke, and if they get this kill, they'll probably take a tier 1 off of it. Miguel looks to be quite a bit of trouble here. Here comes Zavos, marching forward, dropping the wounds. There's a lift. A double TP reaction does come, though. Miguel drops fast. That's a mech down off the bat. Now Effie mad. Forced to pop his ultimate very early. And really nothing they could do. No, they go in on Dendi. Great 4-staff back as well, but can they bring Dendi down? He's very tanky and will survive for the time being. Now from the backside comes Stefanik. It's an ambush. It's a trap. They're going to bring him down. Pass as well. This could be 4. This could be a full team wipe, in fact, if the Luna shows up. She does not. 4th fall. And Navi will take a tier 1, a tier 2, and maybe a Roche as well after that amazing team fight.
That's real big miscommunication by Sigma there. Saksha had just TP to the T2 to farm this camp and this camp right before the 27-minute spawn, and he got it. I guess he's really close to his butterfly. He wanted to fight there, but after the last one, they had no damage. If they have an Eclipse into a Lucent Beam right when he's about to 4-step, then yeah, maybe they can kill him there, but Saksha really had to be there for that fight, and it all goes back to that smoking, because if they don't smoke kick him, then he already has his butterfly by now.
And just the place that they went for the smoke gank was ideal. It's the bottom lane, the tier 1, when Roche has just respawned. That's where you want to be ganking, not off in the top lane or the jungle. So great awareness and decision making from Navi, and now they've taken Aegis, a lot of gold going their way. All of a sudden, what was dead even 7-8 minutes ago, and now 7.5k gold lead. Navi just excelling in the mid game, the late game decision making. For Sigma, it generally seems like either they snowball or they don't win, at least this tournament. Now they go in, they will find Dendi. He's caught out. He doesn't have the Aegis. He's dropping fast here and will go down. The power of the bat. We need a big place from Fano. We get one here. Do they find Funnick as well? He drops low, but he's not dead just yet. And on the flip side is Habos diving directly onto the Luna, who jukes through the trees, but now gets isolated. Rage is cooling down, pops the Eclipse, gets healed up. Some medical assistance comes from the Abaddon for now, but the Eclipse only hitting Necro units. Not really what you want. The Alpha Wolf tank gives some damage as well. Now an Urn Charge. One more nuke from the Necro will bring him down. Dies! Oh, what a big kill. What a massive kill. Habos going ham, brings down another core. They do lose the Chen on the backside, but now in comes the Alk stun, slowing down Habos while they look to retreat. And Migo will be next in line. This is going to be 3 dead, and all of them cores. Well, maybe not. The Timber Chain misses, still falls regardless. Meanwhile, Kurogi was diving the base. What a chaotic fight, but Navi again coming out on top. Did not even lose the Aegis.
And this is the problem with Luna. She is pretty farmed, but she spent the whole entire fight running away from Havost.
Not a good
could
matchup.
not survive.
Not a good matchup against Lifestealer until you get those like 3 tier 4 items. And just not, was slightly ahead in terms of net worth, but no longer. Now down a good 2.5k. And the worst part is now there's an Abyssal Blade on Havost, so he can solo kill this Luna with ease.
Yeah, I think that Luna really excels at taking down TU1 towers and
team fighting fairly early.
But now it's a little bit too late. They have the Yules for fucking mad during his ultimate too.
They will find Kurogi here. They jump in, they get one, but Navi's already taken one as well. There's still 3 heroes on the deck. 2 of them will respawn shortly. And Navi taking the tier 2, giving up a kill on their support Rubik, but getting the support in return. Overall, every little trade seems to be just tilting slightly in their favor, and now it's accumulated to a pretty substantial advantage.
Havost has his Abyssal Blade too. Kuroki has his Blink Dagger. Things are just looking worse and worse for Sigma, and they definitely don't have control of Roshan, and they still have Lifestealer, or Lifestealer still has the Aegis.
And we talked about if Sigma wants to take this late, they really need a farmed Alk. They don't have a farmed Alk. He's just sitting on a plate mail at this point. That's not going to cut it. He needs AC, and then he needs more items. Probably something like a Heaven's Halberd to help him tank up, but he's a long way from getting anything like that.
I think the bigger deal is that Luna doesn't have any farm. She had her butterfly, or she had her eagle horn right here in that smoke ink when she got caught out solo, and since she hasn't even been able to farm it. And it's been like good 5 minutes.
And didn't come to the fight bottom earlier as well, and still wasn't able to finish farming. And it goes back to a lot of the small things that we talked about, the lack of ancient stacking, the lack of using the neutral. Even when he was dead, Sakshka just having an off game today.
Yeah, and this is like Navi's just a more explosive lineup. You make like one or two small mistakes, and they do one or two good smokings, and the game just completely changes. Looking at the gold graph, it was relatively even until 25 minutes, and then boom, 12,000 gold lead for Navi when it was only 2,000 about 10 minutes before that.
What can Sigma do to come back at this point? It looks pretty bleak, but do they have a shot? And if so, what's the game plan?
Firstly, they need a butterfly on Luna. Secondly, I think they need a satanic on Luna too, because she has to be able to man up their against Lifestealer. BKB and Butterfly is not going to be enough because she'll just get abyssaled for most of the duration of her BKB. Also, I think that Sigma just needs more ganks. Fada he's been doing well in team fights. He's been finding really good lassos. He's pulled in Dendi and killed Dendi twice, but as far as making Navi feel threatened around the map, he hasn't really done so. Like, we saw that time that Dendi just like pushed way up here too, and they're just split farming and not really feeling the presence of that rider on the map.
By the way, Dendi is going Refresher, so we could see some double meatball action coming very soon to a theater near you as Navi group up and look to take the tier 2 mid. This is going to be an aggressive push for them. Meanwhile, Sigma lurking on the high ground, worried about getting caught out. Navi take a tier 2. Do they march onto the base at this point? They're thinking about it. Sigma forced to turn tail and run. Do Navi go high ground here? They've got Aegis, they've got a lot of big items, and it looks like, I think it's time.
Yep, checking the Roshan.
And
they have 1 minute on it.
Refresher is coming for Dendi. Oh my, this is one of those games where you're going to want the ticket to go back and watch the replay of this impending fight. Assuming he doesn't die instantly, we're going to see some magic, I hope.
Timbersaw also has a blink dagger too, so he can just blink on the Luna or the Bat Rider.
That's a lot better than Timber Chain Initiation, and you can't really use that going high ground either. There ain't too many trees here.
Right.
But they'll rotate towards top instead. Maybe they don't look to break the base with this Aegis. I mean, they still have a lot of room to grow in this lineup. Timbersaw can farm a Hex. The Lifestealer can get an MKB to deal with Luna's Butterfly. Invoker can get a Hex. There's plenty of items that Navi can still pick up that will make it easier for them to break.
Does Refresher work on Necrobooks? I know that you can't have two pairs out at once.
I think it rearms it.
It rearms it?
Yeah, but you can't, like
That's
you said,
pretty scary in itself.
Rearm does not work on it though, correct?
Right. Even having two Necrobooks out there it's going to be ridiculous. And does Puppy have his Necro 3 too? Yeah, they have Necro 3. So they can just siege a tower and wait for Sigma to come to them if they really want to, but more likely than not, they're either going to get the jump on Luna or Bat Rider early on in the fight.
Yeah, and Navi having double Necrobook, whether or not you can refresh it, I mean, really being beside the point, is so good at sieging. And Lifestealer can just walk up Rage, hit it a few times, and focusing him is quite difficult. I mean, he can be sent back. He's very tanky as long as he gets off his Rage. This Luna doesn't really have enough damage as of yet.
Venomancer has a scepter, but Puppy is trying to counter it with a hood of his own.
I thought he was going to go Lincoln Sphere, but he actually does go.
Yeah, I think a Lincoln Sphere would be really good for them too.
For the last initiation.
They don't have anything that can pop it besides, or pop it during BKB besides Lasso.
Yeah, that's really not what you want to use, which makes Havos literally immune when he's raged. Well, there is an Assault Cuirass, some signs of life here for Sigma. And if Alk and Luna do get 5-6 slotted, that's very hard to deal with. I think if it gets to that point, they have a fighting chance, but
it's going to be a long time before that happens, though.
They're getting really out-farmed. It was once like a 3k gold disadvantage for for our Luna or Sokka. Now it's more of like a 5k gold disadvantage. Really falling behind, and it's because Navi pushing all the lanes, controlling the jungle, and the threat of that instant assassination from a Lifestealer bomb is keeping them penned up inside their base, as well as the complete lack of vision. They don't really see much.
Luna still trying to work on her items, but as you said, she is very, very far behind. Too far behind.
So I guess Navi, they let the Aegis expire. Next Aegis they should be looking to go. Break the base at that point.
Just waiting for Aegis cheese and then break the base, yeah.
And Sigma, they know that Aegis is probably going to spell doom for them, so they do start prep for the Roche. At least they want to scout it. Their lineup on paper seems really good at taking Roche fights. Luna fantastic there, the Bat Rider is as well. But Navi may just be too far ahead in terms of items where even with a really good Roche lineup, they just don't have the items to fight. They need more firepower.
It's all on Fada.
Can he get the perfect initiation? There's no BKB here. He's been managing to find the openings, but it just takes one bad initiation to lose Sigma a fight, which probably loses them Roche, and with that, the base should fall shortly.
And usually they still take losses during the lasso. It's not like a blink lasso and no one dies.
Havos is going man mode. Pos turns tail and run. Even with this in the Salt Caress, Havos bringing him down fast. He's not dead yet, but Pos will fall. Even through all the heals, they brought down one. Now he just chops away at Miguel. The Gale was stolen. Will connect. That's 2 dead. And that's Roche in a minute if they want to wait for it. Or they could just push high ground now. Big win there for Na'Vi. They had to be worried about the Roche attempt, and they had to sit around near the pits. They can see if it's respawning, but that also means they're open for Na'Vi to just walk in and kill them.
Looks like the base push is not gonna wait for, or they're not gonna wait for an Aegis, but they have the Necro Books. They have 2 Necro Book 3s. That is so annoying to deal with.
And the Forged Spirits as well. Throwing Assault Caress on top, the cherry on top for this push. How do Na'Vi even, how can they be stopped at this point? Sigma, they'll lose 1 lane Rex here, and they may well be on their way to losing this game. 1 lane down, they're gonna go for 2. No buybacks in sight, and Na'Vi, 2 lanes of Rex and an Aegis cheese. That should pretty much be all she wrote. Sigma seems like they're out of gas here. Fada will go in, it's the last stand. He jumps in, he drops the last, get an Eclipse off. They try to bring Havos down, and they succeed in doing so, but the melee barracks have fallen. It's a heavy toll that they've had to pay here. The BKB is now down on Luna as well. With Eclipse and BKB down, Na'Vi could look to even go back straight into the pit. They'll drop the meatball. It's 1. It's 2. He refreshes. Does he get it off? Dendi just through it all. He's dropping fast. He'll try and drop another. The flashy play sent home by Dendi. Bailed out or by Puppy in the nick of time. Double meatball. Slightly underwhelming in that fight, but hey,
did you see the Deafening Blast? It actually pushed Venomancer, like it pushed him back. It was strange. It pushed him like towards Invoker.
I didn't actually catch that.
Yeah, I think that's why the Meteor Blast was underwhelming. He like shot the Meteor and then he blasted him, but he got pulled towards the Invoker, and then from there it was rather underwhelming. They can do Roshan if they want to, but looks like with a buyback from Havos, they're just looking to end the game right now.
The other thing was he got interrupted. He got to use the combo immediately. He got stunned, and that delayed the double Meteor, double Deafening Blast. Now they go in, big Life Stealer Pump instantly blowing up Fata, and Havos once more. He wants a piece of Miguel, and he'll have his way. With Cassius Clay, in fact, Saksha probably the next one down. Well, Rage will end. The Ice Wall deployed, and now Miguel dropping fast. They bring down the Luna. Sunstrike into the fountain, slightly off the mark, but Funnick does it anyway. And that'll be game. Na'Vi just running over Sigma. And
I think that Saksha literally did 0 damage during his BKB. He got abyssaled immediately and then ran away, and then Funnick just killed him.
And they're on their feet here in Kiev. The hometown crowd out in force to support the hometown team.
Na'Vi played really well. Sigma, they had an okay draft, I'd say. I think the Luna was fairly weak pick.
Yeah, didn't match up well against the Lifestealer at all.
Oh, I think
and
letting
not banning Lifestealer,
yeah.
You know,
they should have just banned it out.
Maybe they forgot it was out there because it seems a little curious, especially when you have Luna. Generally, everyone knows she's not a great matchup versus Lifestealer in a far